Society is so quick to judge people who avoid eye contact. The assumption is always that you're shy, insecure, or maybe even hiding something. But what if that's completely wrong? What if looking away isn't a social flaw at all, but a sign of an incredibly active, deeply analytical mind? Okay, let's dive into this, because today we're decoding the real psychology behind averting your gaze, and we're going to reframe it as the cognitive strength it truly is.
Just think about it for a moment. Has this ever happened to you? Someone asks you a complex question, and before you even begin to answer, you instinctively find yourself looking away, at the floor, the ceiling, anywhere but their eyes. This little reflex, this really common experience, is the key to understanding everything we're about to cover.
And right here, you can see the huge disconnect we're dealing with. On one side, you've got society's snap judgments, but on the other side, well, that's the psychological reality. We've been told our whole lives that it's a weakness, when it's actually often a sign that your mind is just working on a much, much deeper level.
So, to get to the bottom of this, here's our roadmap. We'll start with what this habit reveals about your mind. Then we'll explore the sensory and cognitive reasons behind it. We'll examine the emotional component, and finally, we're going to reframe this whole thing as a powerful tool.
All right, let's just get right to the core idea here. Looking away when you're thinking is not a social misstep, far from it. It is a symptom of an incredibly active and powerful mind. A mind that prioritizes processing information deeply over just, performing social expectations. So, what's the first big reason your brain does this? Well, it's all about managing a flood of information. For deep thinkers, the brain is just wired to take in more data from the world. And believe it or not, eye contact is like a fire hose of sensory input.
The psychological concept behind this is actually called sensory processing sensitivity. Now, this isn't a disorder, it's just a neutral trait. It simply means your nervous system is built to notice all the little subtleties and process information more deeply than the average person.
I mean, think about what direct eye contact actually involves. You're not just seeing the color of someone's eyes. Your brain is subconsciously analyzing their micro-expressions, shifts in their mood. It's trying to read what they're feeling but not saying. For a brain with high sensitivity, that is a massive amount of data to compute in real time.
And here's the crucial point. Looking away isn't about avoiding the person. It's a subconscious strategy to shut off that intense visual data stream. It literally frees up your mental resources so you can actually focus on formulating a thoughtful response.
Okay, let's move on to our second point, which builds directly on the first. It's not just about sensory input, it's about the cognitive energy required for deep thought. Because maintaining eye contact isn't free, it comes at a mental cost.
You see, deep thinkers often operate with what psychologists call System 2 dominance. This just means you don't give the first answer that pops into your head. Instead, your brain prefers to run simulations, connect different ideas, and really search for accuracy. And that process, it requires serious brain power. You can almost see the sequence laid out here. A complex question comes in, the brain instinctively averts its gaze to conserve that cognitive energy. This is what allows it to activate its deep processing mode. And only then is a truly formulated insight ready to be shared. Looking away is a critical step in that chain.
This quote really captures it perfectly. It isn't a matter of ability or confidence. Your brain is simply making a tactical decision. It's dropping the demanding task of social performance to allocate that precious energy toward clear, precise thinking.
All right, now for our fourth reason, which moves from cognition to emotion. It's not just about processing power. There's a really deep emotional layer to this as well. If you avert your gaze often, you probably have a very high level of empathy. And for you, eye contact isn't just data. It's a direct emotional channel. Psychologists have a name for this: emotional contagion. It's the difference between noticing someone is stressed and actually starting to feel their stress in your own nervous system. Highly empathetic people don't just see emotions, they absorb them.
So if you're talking to someone who is intense or angry or anxious, direct eye contact can feel like an emotional shock. Looking away becomes an automatic defense mechanism. It's your brain creating a necessary boundary to regulate your own emotions and protect your inner peace.
This high empathy often connects to another trait, a reliance on internal validation. A lot of people use eye contact to constantly check for approval, a nod, a smile, but deep thinkers are often way more concerned with the accuracy and depth of their own words. You don't need constant external feedback to know your point is valid.
So, Let's bring all of this together. It's time to stop seeing this habit as something you need to fix and start recognizing it for what it is, a sign that your mind is working differently and powerfully. This is the ultimate takeaway. Your tendency to look away is a tool. It's a tool your brain uses to manage sensory overload, conserve cognitive energy, and regulate your emotional state. It's a finely tuned instrument for deep thinking.
So if you are someone who looks away to think, please stop feeling bad about it. You are not broken. You are not socially inadequate. You just have a mind that prefers cognitive depth over surface-level social performance, a mind that processes the world on a much deeper frequency.
And I'll leave you with this final thought. Society so often values the loudest voice in the room. But what if that quiet moment when you look away to gather your thoughts? What if that silence isn't a weakness at all, but the very source of your greatest strength?